Hi, welcome back to Heart of Gold. I am Paul Chartier, and you know Darlene Thomas. Now with Greenhouse 17, you've not switched jobs, but the name of your organization has changed.
It has.
What happened?
Well, you know, we went on this adventure believing that we needed to help families see the positive light of the experience. And for us, Greenhouse 17 captures that. Greenhouses, when you think of a greenhouse, one of the definitions is to grow and nurture things in a protected environment. And that's exactly what we do. We help grow, nurture families in a protected environment. So it seemed like a wonderful switch to really embrace the positive.
And you used to be known as?
We used to be known as the Bluegrass Domestic Violence Program.
And as you said, that name has maybe connotations that aren't overly positive. So you went to Greenhouse thinking this is a nice, fresh way to talk about and define what you do.
Yes, Bluegrass Domestic Violence Program, although all the services, the advocacy, the support, everything we've always done continues to this day, has a tendency for people to focus on the negative, the violence, rather than the hope and the promise and the possibilities. And Greenhouse 17 is all about that, the hope, the promise, the growth, the green, the healing that can take place. And the 17 represents the 17 counties in central Kentucky that we serve.
And Darlene, you've done great work. You've changed lives and probably saved lives. And for people watching, we want them to hear about the accolades that you've earned and things coming up. We also want people to understand that if they know anybody going through an issue, that we want to keep the phone number up on the screen, that's the real reason we want to have you on. But talk about the great things that have happened to you.
Well, not just me, an entire staff of amazing people who are creative and dynamic in and of themselves and are so committed to this cause. They come to work every day with a purpose much bigger than themselves.
How many employees?
22 direct service and administrative employees. Mainly we all do everything or pieces of it because we're a small staff serving a very large community and the surrounding communities. But what they've done is we've been recognized here lately based on some of their vision, which is to find ways to comprehensively, holistically help families move from crisis to self-sufficiency. And of course, pieces of that were shelter services. That's core to who we are, that emergency shelter situation for those families. But what else did our families need? And what were they telling us that they needed? And it was children's services and programming and co-op and daycare services, and they needed health care and dental care. And they were interested in learning more about not only their situation, but what's around them. So staff worked with the residents and found out book club would be a wonderful way to grow and learn, and share with one another and different experiences. And then another staff person said, you know, I'm really interested in doing yoga with all of our families and our children. And so we started doing yoga, and then we had this beautiful 40 acres that we set on. And we thought for a really long time and used some of our community members and board members, what is it we need to do with this property? And with this property, we decided, although we fumbled around with a few other ideas, what we landed with was gardens, health and nutrition. And a few years ago, we were able to hire a farmer, UK Ag graduate, who has helped this entire vision grow, and the awards are coming from this whole comprehensive, inclusive way in our approach to the work and really celebrating the farm.
And to maybe direct what they've gone through to doing something productive and staying busy and watching and watering and watching something grow as they are developing at the same time.
It's all very interconnected.
It all comes together.
You know, families can connect in different ways. Some are very verbal, and you could sit down and have one-on-ones and watch some transitions take place. And others really need hands-on, that place to have quiet time, reflection, And some of us need both of those things, a combination of all things together, and that's what we really focus on. But the families that have really thrived on the farm has been spectacular. We now make green bean French fries, not regular French fries.
Oh my
we
gosh.
now see our children, our moms walking around with fresh carrots hanging out of their mouths. They're learning to can and cook it. We have a person who helps bring everything from the garden to the table. We're partnering with our community.
Who would
by
have thought
selling
that?
our excess to the
Yeah,
community.
yeah.
People are excited about what we're doing, and our big niche now is fresh cut flowers. So we do events, and our families participate. They receive a stipend for doing any part of the work on the farm, and they put together flowers for.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, we opened the Kentucky State Fair this year at the Commodities Breakfast with all the flowers. We were invited by Kentucky Proud.
Wow.
So we're a Kentucky Proud farm. We're ecstatic.
Congratulations, and let's give that phone number and website so when people are watching, when things are happening for good and not good, they can contact you.
Right. The number for our program is 1-800-544-2022, and the website is greenhouse17.org, and it's the number 17, greenhouse17.org.
Great. Couple things going on that are big. October is Domestic Violence Month. Talk about that and talk about your event coming up in November.
Right. Well, this month is where we try to raise awareness, so we appreciate your invitation and hope many, many people watch, because what we truly believe is it takes a caring community to really shift the patterns of violence and accountability to people who perpetrate that violence. And if we are a aware community, if we are an engaged community, then we empower victims to know that our community cares and they can make changes and they can have opportunities outside of violent relationships.
And I want to say it right now, if anybody knows of anything going on, it's our responsibility to pick up the phone and let someone know that someone else is in trouble.
Yes, and to reach out and not judge and let those that have suffered from intimate partner violence to know that it's not their fault and there is help available. Silence is so damaging to families. It helps carry a shame and a sense of responsibility that they've done something wrong, and it is not their fault. And if we can talk about it and we have a community that's not afraid to discuss it and is not afraid to reach out and volunteer and help and be engaged, what we do is we send messages to those who maybe had been suffering in silence. They don't have to anymore. There is hope and opportunity.
Being a novice, if someone gets on that path of domestic violence, it's not going to improve. It's going to get worse and worse, more intense. And unless someone does something to change it, in intervention or getting off that path. So if you're on that path, if you know someone that is, please call that phone number and do something to save yourselves or save a family member or a loved one.
Everything we do is confidential, so you can just call us. We will hold your confidence and just listen and help provide options and choices and care.
And we're going to give the phone number again. It's on the screen. If something's going on, we're here to make a difference and to save lives and to save families. What is coming up in November?
Luna Fest is our event, which will be held at the Kentucky on November the 7th. And it is films by, for, and about women. And they're short films. So it's a wonderful event. It's $15 for a ticket, or $10 if you're with a nonprofit or you're a student to attend. And it's just a series of short films. And this year, we hope to have a local film by a local filmmaker as part of this project. But it's November 7th. And if you miss the November 7th at the Kentucky on November 10th, you can go. We're partnering with Transylvania University this year, and you can see the videos and the movies then.
So on November 7th, that's probably a Saturday?
Thursday.
They go to the Kentucky Theater, they pay one admission fee, and from what time to what time they sit back and enjoy entertainment made by women?
Well, the event starts at 6, so you can show up at 6, and I hope that we will be ready to roll out at least the local film by 6:30, and you will be done with a wonderful, fun evening of short films by 9 p.m.
And this is a fundraiser, one night, and that's it.
Yes, and it also supports breast cancer awareness. Luna, the makers of Luna Bar, are the group that puts on Luna Fest and works with filmmakers from across the world and selects the films every year. So we are the beneficiary of that locally.
Darlene, in the last couple minutes, a lot of nonprofits are open to having volunteers come in and help them with their process. Do you allow volunteers?
We do allow volunteers. We screen, we have an interview process like anybody else, and work with them, train them, try to put them in the areas that they feel most comfortable working with, adults, children, courts, out on the farm, however they feel they best fit into helping others.
When we put the plea out for volunteers, people just don't know. They think, I've got a full-time job, I don't need another full-time job. So what kind of hours, what kind of commitment do you have for them that they could show up on Saturday mornings, show up? Explain that.
Well, you could do a one-time volunteer project with a group of people, or with your church or civic group that you may be involved in. You could come do a project-based volunteering, or you could do more direct service, and then you would commit to the hours that you believe would fit into your schedule, whether that's 1 hour a month or 10 hours a month. We try to work with our volunteers. We need as many people as we can get to help our efforts.
We've covered a lot of ground, and explain in the last minute the gravity and impact you have on how many lives in Central Kentucky.
Last year in Central Kentucky, we served nearly 10,000 men, women, and children who had been affected by intimate partner violence. So the impact is tremendous within our area. In shelter, we served around 321, and their average length of stay is 3 to 4 months while they are trying to rebuild and reestablish themselves. I think the greatest impact is we're a safe place. We're a safe place for people to be emotionally, mentally, whether it's residentially or not residentially. Whoever comes through our program will experience a group of people dedicated to the health and well-being of each family that we have contact with.
And you said there is an inherent normal shame involved in going through their process, but my belief is it's not shame. You're becoming a hero because you're about to get your life back, and there's a lot to be said about that.
And you deserve to have your life back.
You absolutely
Nobody
do.
deserves to take that away
There's
from
no
you.
going around again.
And you don't have to do it alone.
Give your phone number.
Do
and
not have to be alone.
Please give the phone number for all your help.
It's 1-800-544-2022, or our website is greenhouse17.org.
Darlene Thomas, you save lives. You're a nonprofit that really does make a difference. I appreciate you, the community does too, and the 300 guests and all the other 10,000 of lives that you've changed and made a difference. Thank you for doing that, and thanks to your staff.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Paul Chartier. We'll be back next month on Heart of Gold.